that's my problem, not anybody else's. Like, I know that's absolutely my problem. But I also know the only person that cares as much about your business is you. And it's weird. I can trust the food truck to somebody else, but I'm not sure if I can trust the cafe to somebody.
It's a step. You're making steps, Skippy, in the right direction. I hope your guy works out. I hope he doesn't die on your property.
If he does, he's got insurance.
Okay. Cheeseless says, I am a professional gig worker here to answer all your questions about delivery apps.
Oh.
So, excellent. Now, are these legitimate employees? You have them in Square?
They are all in Square.
Excellent. And you got their sick time all ready to go?
Didn't that get changed?
No.
Under 10 employees?
No, there's two different levels. So there's an under 10 employees and an over 10 employees. You still have to give them sick time.
Well,
it's just the amount of...
I said they're all in Square. I didn't say they were on Square payroll.
Yes, so the amount of carryover is what changes. And this is just the state of Michigan, so I'm sorry for those that aren't. As of the 21st of February, all employers have to guarantee sick time. 1 hour for every 30 hours worked. With a carryover on, so if you have less than 10 employees, the carryover year to year is 40 hours, I believe. And if you have more than 10 employees, the carryover is 72 hours.
Yeah.
So there's that. And that's a requirement for all employers, regardless of size. Effective on the 21st. And our tipped employee minimum wage will be at $15 gradually. I think it's going to be 4 years or 5 years. But I know it had a boost this year up to 6 or something like that. If you want to double check that. But I know that was part of the same. Cheese and Crust. No, it's not different for full-time and part-time employees. So that's why they do it based on number of hours worked. So it's 1 hour for every 30 hours you work. So even if you're a part-time, you're still going to collect sick time, just at a much slower rate. If that makes sense.
Okay, so according to
Google.
No, hold on.
Reddit. That's my favorite news source lately.
Michigan Restaurant and Lodging Association.
Okay.
Effective February 21, 2025.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Michigan's minimum wage is $12.48 per hour.
Mm-hmm.
The 85% rate for minors age 16 to 17 is $10.61 per hour.
This ageism.
The rate for tipped employees is $4.74 per hour.
Okay.
The training wage of $4.25 an hour for newly hired employees ages 6 to 19 of their first 90 days employment remains unchanged.
Oh my God. I didn't know that was a thing.
So
who's hiring 6-year-olds?
16 to 19.
I heard 6 to 19.
No.
Judas Priest.
Okay,
so I could use one.
As a result, hard to clean. The changes to Michigan's minimum law wages include the following: $12.48, while maintaining the tipped wage of 38% for the rest of the year. Increase the minimum wage on January 1st, 2026, with a 40% tipped wage. Increase to $15 on 2027 with a 42% tipped wage. It continues to increase the minimum wage annually based off CPI Midwest, with the tip wage increase cap at 50%.
Okay.
So it'll never go higher than 50%.
All right. Thank you. I knew there was a change. So with minimum wage hitting 15, you're looking at $7.50 minimum for tipped employees.
Yes.
So this has been a big hubbub in Michigan about how many restaurants are going to close and restaurant owners aren't going to be able to afford this dramatic change in pay this year, and all the prices are going to go up at restaurants. If restaurants, how much did it go up this year? Tipped employees? It was at $4.25, I think. So it's 50 cents an hour, I think is all it's going up this year. Or it went up. Because I think I had Pam at $4.25.
$4.74. I do not know.
Yeah, I think it was $4.25 or
no. So it was 30. So it's 38% of the minimum, whatever minimum.
Right. I don't know what that was either. Right. But yeah, so it's going up to $4.50 or $4.75. You said. Mm-hmm. So it's going up to $4.75. This is not a huge additional expense for employers. It's not great for them. I mean, they will have to make adjustments, but this is nothing to where you are adding dollars to menu items. They shouldn't be. In my opinion, they shouldn't be. I think the bigger part of that is the sick time paid or paid sick time, I think could have an effect. Depending on how you read some of the language in there, it protects workers on no-call, no-shows.
Supposedly they can have 3 without being fired. 3 in a row without being
fired. I know. I think some of that language needs to be redefined. Yeah, because that's absurd. You no call, no show one time for me, and you're done. You know, maybe 2. But I don't hear from you 2 days in a row and 2 consecutive shifts. You're not coming back for a third.
So
Sheila says, sorry. Smithfield in Iowa got in trouble for 10-year-olds cleaning with their parent. It's a family-owned business.
Absolutely.
Child labor laws don't apply to family-owned businesses as long as it's your child in the business. Sorry, go ahead.
The key changes, Earned Sick Time Act. Mm-hmm. Beginning February 21, 2025, all employees, full-time, part-time, and seasonal, must receive 1 hour of paid sick time for every 30 hours worked, max 72 hours per year. Small businesses less than 10 employees have their own mandate. All employers, including those with paid time off policies currently in place, need to rethink their approach to leave time. Employers also need to strike policies requiring advance notice, rethink whether to require documentation, and offer one bank of PTO, and watch out for new crafty avenues to litigation. This is from the Michigan Chamber of Commerce.
Yeah, so that's... Yeah. So unless they changed it in the last, right before it passed, yeah, it was the carryover. So 72 hours was that larger, and then it said separate mandate for those less than 10 employees, so if you already have PTO, so you give your people paid time off that matches the requirement, then you're good to go. You don't have to offer separate sick time, which is how a lot of people are getting around this. Now, the way PTO guidelines are written, I don't know if they're laws or not, but you can decline PTO time. Those aren't guaranteed days. You can't. So if you were to go to your employer one day and say, I need tomorrow off, they can say no. So I think that's where I think there's some more that needs to be done with this. Because I consider just having my people just do a PTO to kind of cover everything for them.
Yeah.
And that's my former employer. We only had one bank of time, and it was a PTO bank.
That's what we had.
But we earned at a greater rate. So we went from sick and vacation time to one pool. But we still earned at the rate of both pools, and it's just all together now. But the problem was that we had, so yeah, the reason that companies did it was because people were like snow days for school and stuff. People would be out of vacation time, but they'd have all the sick time that they weren't allowed to use, or vice versa. You'd have one pool that was full of all this time, but according to the regulations or the company's policies, you couldn't use it for anything else. So whatever.
So small businesses have until October 1st to comply. That's 10 or fewer employees. New hire waiting period and requiring these employees to wait up to 120 days before using any accrued sick time.
Okay.
Um, front loading paid sick time as an alternative. Employers can front load 72 hours of paid sick time for immediate use each year, or $40 hours for small business, which eliminates the requirement for carryover or accrual for full-time employees.
Yeah. Does it say anything about paying out upon termination?
Yeah, blah, 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 blah.
I think that's the other thing. PTO is payable upon termination.
Sick time.
But sick time is not. I think. I'm not positive.
Employees exempted. I love this.
Food trucks.
Those employed by the U.S. government.
Of course.
Unpaid trainees or unpaid interns. That's right. I'm just going to hire interns.
Unpaid. I'll make a donation to their college fund.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Okay. Small businesses. How do you determine if an employer is a small business? They have 10 or fewer employees. Thank you. Once an employer employs 11 or more employees for 20 or more work weeks in the current or prior calendar year, they're no longer a small business.
Damn it. Because you could get away with it then. If your food truck season was short, like you only did summer months for festivals and stuff, and you were only open for 19 weeks,
you wouldn't have to worry about it.
Yeah.
When does an eligible employee begin to accrue sick time? October 1st. For small business. For all other, February 21st.
Yeah, ours is already in. So Chris was actually at the beginning of February. His accrual started. And Matt will start as soon as he starts working hours. So
Matt? Who's Matt?
Matt Caleb. God, where did Matt come from?
Wow.
No, Caleb. We never had a Matt working for us. Yeah.
All right. So there we go.
All right.
Changes.
Good job, Skippy.
Michigan law.
You had a great week. Look at all that stuff you just talked about. Way to go, buddy.
I'll skip you all the time.
I posted some jobs last week.
You did post a job. I was going to steal the picture. Just put my trailer on. But anyway.
Yeah, and I want to get to that too. Nick's not on, but he had commented asking if I use AI for some of the images. The answer is yes, and we can get back to that, or we can talk about it right now. So I use Canva. So our Monday morning food truck posts lately have all been in Canva using one of their image generators, AI image generators. Me and Skippy sitting in a snowy field with some flowers popping up was a 4-sentence prompt that I put in, and that's what it created. I had to have it regenerate, I don't know, probably 4 times. So it does 4 images per generation. And then you can just have it regenerate if you're not getting what we want. So there was some pretty funny ones in there. Some very less appealing images of you and I. It was just like a ball of middle with a little bobblehead on top. We look like little Buddhas in a field.
Google Ads sucks.
Oh yeah, we didn't talk about your Google Ads. Let's wait until next week to get into that.
I don't have anything.
Okay.
I don't have anything.
How much have you spent?
$10.89.
And you get nothing for it.
No, it's not about that I got nothing. It's still like my account's still suspended.
Oh.
I submitted an appeal. Right. Never did anything.
I do pay for Canva, so I don't use the free version. I have whatever version is above that. I'm not 100% positive how much I'm paying for it.
Mm-hmm.
But from that, so the one that I did for the job posting, Skippy, can you pull that up?
Yeah.
And share the screen. I post.
Absolutely.
So for that one, the image in the forefront was what was generated. It had a whole background with AI generated food truck. And then I just did background removal. So that's another feature inside Canva for some of these. You can remove the backgrounds and just have the forefront, which is really awesome for people and stuff. And then I just overlaid that on top of the picture of our food truck at a festival, and then changed the size of the people. What are you laughing at?
I just noticed the one
You
that
just saw the post?
this morning.
What was weird was you texted me right after I posted it. I'm like, didn't you just? And I tagged you. Like, didn't you see the post?
It's so good. You'd give us both more hair, though.
There's only so much I can control. Cheeseless Crust says, y'all have been very helpful in my quest for a hot dog cart catering business. I'm glad to hear that, Cheeseless. Thank you for listening.
He needs to have a hot dog competition and call it the Wiener to Wiener.
The prize could be a sword.
So
for a sword fight.
Great Lakes Barbecue Association, we do the beak to beak. And so we had our wonderful guy from Jay Craig from Outlaw Smokers craft a beak to beak trophy, and it's two roosters that are like facing each other. So now it's we'll get kicked off YouTube for this. So now we call it the cock to cock.
That is just the appropriate name for the animal.
So if we had a rib one, could we call it bone to bone?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. I would love to be the winner of the Wiener to Wiener.
Wiener to Wiener. And then the pork, they used to have butt to butt.
Remember the butt to butt? Yeah.
Please.
Anyways.
Please hold. Oh, you didn't, as I'm pulling this up,
mm-hmm.
You had done a test on some cornflake chicken.
Yeah.
Can you talk about that real quick while I'm pulling this up? Because it looked fantastic.
Cheeseless Crust says he's binged our podcast on Spotify for the last 3 months. Extra entertainment while delivering. I'm glad it's entertaining for everybody. I go back and listen to some of these. I can't believe people start at the beginning.
First of all, he didn't say entertaining.
Yes, he did. Extra entertainment while delivering.
Oh. Nobody else said it was entertaining. He just did.
Yeah, no one. Okay, so this chicken. If you did not see the pictures, go to the Sweet Racks Smoking Butts Facebook page. It's all right there. Basically, just did boneless, skinless chicken thighs in a buttermilk brine overnight. Not overnight. It was 8 hours. I meant to do it overnight and forgot. So it was in there for 8 hours. Yes. So pulled those out, and then right into a cornflake crumb coating, and then into the smoker. Those are not deep fried. Those are not oven. Those are not pan fried. That's right into the smoker. It took them about 2 hours to get to where they needed to be. I did not wrap them at all, just right in. They were really good.
How many did you consume?
All of them. Not that day, but so for the sandwich we did a hot honey drizzle on top, Duke's mayonnaise on top and bottom, and then kosher dill pickles, and it was really, really, really good. The problem that I had with the sandwich,
Go ahead.
What are you circling?
I was going to assume this would be the problem because that looks a little like mushy.
No.
Okay.
So you have the moisture from it was crispy. Like I tried to do a knife scrape on it.
Yeah.
For the sound. I mean, you could kind of hear it, but the breading doesn't hold super solid onto the chicken. So it doesn't adhere to the chicken. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Anyways, the problem I had with it, so like anything when you do chicken, especially boneless, skinless, is in a dry heat atmosphere. That top layer of meat gets a little tough.
Okay.
It was the same. I thought maybe the breading would help protect it a little bit. So that top layer got a little tough, but after about an hour, it was perfect. It was a bite through perfect. I did not hot hold them at all. So they were just sitting in a pan on my stovetop, foiled.
Okay.
So I think actually them being in like our heating cabinet for a half hour covered in foil will soften that up enough. Mm-hmm. And the outside was still pretty crunchy. So it didn't get soggy. Even the next day, so out of the fridge and into the microwave, they were fine. So really, really good. I want to try them with the skin on and do the breading. So do boneless but skin on and see if that helps. But I think the skin will just get rubbery. The whole,
Unless you
chicken thigh.
you got a jacquard or something.
Yeah.
So you did not hot hold these.
No. Nope. They
How
went
do
off the
you,
smoker and into a pan with foil.
how do you believe they would be hot held?
I think they'll be fine. I'm going to do another one. I'm going to do another batch. I'll probably wait till we're open. This is just going to be a special item if we run it. So yeah, we'll do it when we
Let
open.
the thigh take up the whole bun.
Pretty much, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So I like the Meyer boneless chicken thighs because they tend to be a little bit bigger than like the Costco big packages. Yeah. Can you pull up the job posting that I had?
I'm working on it. Sorry.
Got all distracted by my delicious thighs. Thank you, Jesus Christ. He says they look so good. Yep. So that back picture actually, obviously, is the three people in front were all AI generated.
Did he just get murdered and he's walking around? Is that a black guy?
Angie said the same thing. He just got done committing murder. All right, AI is not perfect, but it is way better than it used to be. Yeah.
I like it. So, are you having anybody prep on early morning prep from 3 a.m. to 8 a.m. yet?
Cheeseless Crust said, breading will come off with the skin. Used to do this at AQ Chicken in Arkansas. Thank you for the heads up. Believe it or not, I probably have all three of these filled. So I maybe I don't want to say that. I haven't interviewed these guys yet. So I had two people immediately jump on the early morning prep. So ideally we'd have two, each working 3 days. That way, days off and stuff, I can kind of move people around if needed. One guy is very much looking for a job. Like he said, I can do all 6 days, I do whatever hours you need me to do, which is awesome. But I'm gonna, yeah. And then the other guy, it's extra income for him. Not a like he's up or he said I'm usually up at 3:30 anyways, or by 3:30 anyways. And then he works from home in the IT field. But used to work in a restaurant like 15 years ago. Pretty much just looking for some extra income. So those two guys look like they are strong candidates to be able to split that time. I will probably be making a decision in the next couple of days on those two. And then we had somebody inquire, one of our customers, inquire about the cashier barbecue assembly position. So,
okay. May I ask questions about your jobs?
Sure.
Okay. Let's start with early morning prep.
Yep.
Can I ask what your average pay would be? And is it always based off of experience?
No.
Okay.
No. I'm paying $25 for that position.
Okay. That's a lot more than I thought. Okay.
It's 3 a.m. to 8 a.m.
No, I get it.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, I get it.
For me, that is money well spent for those hours, and for me not to have to do it from those hours, so I can focus on other things is 100% worth it.
Now, is this only assuming that you have a building, or are they come into your house and opening the trailer and
this is starting in 2 weeks? Yeah.
Okay.
I can't keep being on the trailer at 3:30 in the morning 6 days a week. I can't do it. My brain can't function to be able to do all the other things I need to do throughout my days with only getting 5 hours of sleep on a good night. So it has to happen.
Okay. All right. So 25, 6 hours a day.
5 hours a day?
5 hours a day, sorry.
Yeah, so this is going to cost me about $800 a week.
Okay. Let's go down to cashier barbecue assembly. I'll start with the same thing. As far as the need kitchen experience,
No,
are you paying the same
because
amount?
are we paying them the same amount?
Yeah, no,
No,
same,
I'm not
same.
paying $25 an
No, I'm talking
hour.
about same amount. Like as far as, sorry, what amount are they starting off at the same amount no matter their experience?
Um, let's say no. That would be negotiable to an extent.
Okay.
But pretty much the bottom end of our scales right now for that kind of position is like 13, which I think is where I started Caleb at 2 years ago.
Now, I have to agree with Miss Susan Hans Banker. We want Pam. We want Pam. We want Pam. Um,
We all want Pam. But
Pam. Oh, this is the best job ever. Aw, Pam's great. So, all right. So that's okay. So bottom 13. Now, when you interview these people, I assume they're going to ask about tips. Do you have
okay.
an idea about how much, like, are you going to talk to them about tips and like what your average collection is and maybe what your average per hour for certain people are?
Yes, we always do. That's always part of anybody we talk to about a position.
Okay.
But also with the understanding that they're not guaranteed, and some
Correct.
days, some shifts just aren't going to be that. But yeah, I mean,
How do you feel about employers taking credit card fees out of credit card tips?
credit card fees.
So whenever there's going to be credit card fees that are paid whenever they do a credit card transaction, which include the tip.
Correct. Yeah.
So there is a restaurant that I came across that took basically 3% out of their
Credit card tips.
correct.
No.
I'm not saying it's good. I was just wondering what your opinion was.
Never have, never will.
Okay.
If I can't sustain that 3% on a $4 tip, we're talking 12 cents.
I completely understand. I get it. I was just asking a question.
Fucking people.
You have limited travel may be required. What is your idea of limited travel? Like, do you talk about mileage? Talk about where your service area is?
Yes.
Okay.
So we'll talk about our service territory and where that is.
And I guess what is limited travel like when it says may be required? Are you asking people to try to like drive with you or Chris to an event or drive themselves?
That is always an option. We give people those options.
Okay.
Yes. I mean, a lot of it depends on where they are. Their home.
When you
obviously there's going to be travel required to go to,
and that's why I'm asking. You say some limited travel may be required. Well,
outside of normal commute time, yes. This is not a work from home position.
No, I'm saying you're a food truck and you go all over the place. But travel will be required.
Hey, what is your business address before you had the cafe?
My house.
What is your home base of operations? There you go. There are as many times that Caleb drives to my house and then rides to events with us.
Does he do early morning prep?
No.
Okay, but
nor does he want it.
And that's fine. So he rides with you, is what I'm saying, or whoever.
Sometimes, yeah. It depends on where we're going, but yes.
So, okay. I'm just trying to I was just trying to understand that because you're a food truck. So when it says limited travel may be required, it's always going to be required.
It is for any job that you're not working from home.
Absolutely. Okay. I just wondered why that would, like, you made that a thing, and I'm wondering why it was a thing. Because it doesn't look like it needs to be.
Maybe if we're driving by their house, we can pick them up on the way.
I don't see that ever happening.
I've done it with Chris. I've done it with Caleb. We've picked him up on the way.
Okay.
If we're driving by his house on the way to an event, yeah, I'll tell him, hey, be here and be ready to go at this time. There's no reason for him to drive an extra 40 minutes round trip. Just, yeah, it's silly.
Why does
So,
dependable with reliable transportation not get a star?
because I missed it.
I'm
You want me to pick
joking.
apart all your fucking posts?
No, I'm asking questions about it. That's all I'm asking.
No, you're not. You're nitpicking just for the sake of nitpicking.
I was nitpicking.
Why doesn't it have a star? Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You want me to go through and pick apart all your posts?
Hold on. Position reports to roadside locations.
Yes.
How far in advance of you opening are you asking them to be there?
Caleb is on time, so at opening time, depending on what else is going on for the day.
Okay, so you want them to be there no later than whatever time you're opening for whatever event you're doing.
Yeah, I think at most Caleb's a half hour.
Okay, good. So 15 to 30 hours a week. How many of these cashier barbecue assembly people are you plan on hiring?
I guess it depends on how many people want 1 day a week. Okay. That's where kind of Rick was he lived north of Newaygo.
Well, that's far.
So yeah, so he did our Newaygo. Like he was not comfortable.
He did Sundays. Okay.
I was not comfortable making him drive frequently. He did a couple events down by us, and I talked to him about those ahead of time. Just because I know they are far. He did some of our Allendale ones, which is still 45-minute, probably close to an hour drive for him. So, yeah. Mm-hmm. We have so yeah. I'll spend probably a couple weeks with both of those guys, making sure they're comfortable. The mac and cheese is not a concern of mine, them making that kind of stuff. My concern is with meats and stuff coming off at the proper time. So, because it's not temperature.
I like your post. Like, I like everything about it.
Okay.
I may even steal that.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Well, it's because it's worded really, really well. It's worded really well.
Can't wait to see a chicken sandwich on your menu that's cornbread crusted.
I'm not a big cornflake guy, but
no, it doesn't taste like cornflakes. It's just a
I will
crunchy
tell you that Darren Worth's chicken restaurant that he has called the Ordinary Chicken, the Ghost Kitchen that he has.
Mm-hmm.
He does his. It's like half panko, half original Captain Crunch.
Oh yeah,
like that's interesting. A little sweet.
Can you close this share, please?
Oh, sorry.
It's okay. It just moves, so I have to look to see you. I have to look over this way, which is not where my camera, because it's on.
Hey,
it shifts both of us all the way over. So yeah.
How are you?
It's not great for anything.
My apologies, sir. Thank you.
No, you're good.
I do like your picture. I think it looks good, with the exception of the Black Dexter.
It's barbecue sauce.
That's blood.
Clearly, it's barbecue sauce.
The one hand you can't see is currently handing a knife. It's absolutely what's going on. And why are these people working outside your trailer?
Because they're delivering food to a customer, clearly.
It's not a customer. She's wearing an apron, too.
AI is not perfect.
No,
but
great
it's
job.
Not too bad.
Great job. We want Pam.
So, yeah, spend the first 2 weeks with them on the trailer, with a lot of focus on feels and textures that we're looking for when pulling stuff off. And yeah, I think anybody can handle mac and cheese as long as they are not trying to multitask themselves to death, which is where Chris gets himself into problem. Like, he hates making mac and cheese because he often burned the cheese sauce, because he would get going on other stuff and completely forget about it. Next thing you know, it's boiling.
It's caramelizing.
Yeah. I said the whole thing is very much set up, like that whole morning, to where you don't have for the most part, you can just focus on the cheese sauce, and that's really what it needs. It needs the attention. So, for it to be done well.
That whole morning shift is where I get lost, because it's like I go in at 5, light the smoker, prep ribs. I get done prepping ribs, and at the most, any bone-in chicken that we're doing, whether it's quarters or wings, I'm done by 5:30. I'm still waiting for that smoker to get up to 10. I mean, it's up to 10 by then, but I always put it on at 6, and then like after 6, Takes me 15, 20 minutes to get the sides ready to go. And then I'm just dead. So it's like, what do I have people do? I mean, I can put a thing together on like, I mean, I could have them cut brisket right then and there and prep it for that day, and whatever's in the warmer can be done. But it's like, I don't know what to have them do.
Yeah.
Especially when you have somebody that has kitchen experience. A lot of them are lost.
Hello, this is Josh.
Hey, Josh.
Yes.
Sounds like Josh is getting a catering request. We can hear him through the microphone in his.
Yes. Yes, we are interested. Always for you guys.
Always. This is textbook good customer service.
Okay. Yep.
Anyway, for everybody that was looking
Yep.
at Josh's hiring, I think it's honestly, it's a really good job. I like pretty much every idea that he's got on here, so I'll probably steal it like I always do. Come up with my own, whatever you want to call it.
Yep. Okay.
He can't just say, "Hey, can you send me an email with all your stuff?" He's going to take a phone call, which I appreciate. Takes a phone call. Jason, you got to send us a picture when that smoker gets mounted. If you have not fired it up yet, I just found out that one of
the problem with like, if you wanted to do sandwiches and stuff, are you just thinking kind of the same, like meat and a couple sides?
Well, yeah, sandwiches.
Josh could mute his mic.
Right. Right.
I can't mute
him. The problem is they will get really soggy just from the moisture from the meat. Yeah, I'm not sure how long we'd be able to hold them. But to do up 180 sandwiches ahead of time, yeah, some of them are going to be awesome. Yep. And I mean, really, if we could do, 2 lines to help get people through faster, probably. Yeah, it's a lot of people. It's hard to get through people that fast, I know, but okay.
Can you imagine doing 180 sandwiches?
Yeah, that would be best.
Anybody that has done
do you have a date-ish range?
Let us know how you keep your buns.
Okay.
From just absolutely disintegrating them.
Okay.
I almost thought about doing it upside down because it seems like the top bun is definitely better than the bottom bun. I know that sounds absolutely stupid to say, but.
Yep. Yeah. Yeah, if you want to do if you wanted to do soon, yeah, I'll need to know pretty soon. We're gearing up for our regular normal season, so yeah, as soon as you can let me know.
That would be like now.
If you're like next week, yeah, and the next day or two would be ideal.
Tomorrow. Absolutely tomorrow.
Awesome. Thank you so much, man. Bye. Sorry about that.
180 sandwiches pre-wrapped, ready for them to grab. That your customer service, by the way, is spectacular to see.
I know. That's why we do 150,000 in catering.
100 of it's one person. Settle down.
It's not. 80 of it is one person.
Whatever. Still more than half.
Yes, this is our frequent clients of ours.
Good.
We did all their holiday, their Christmas plants. That 1 week we did the 4 plants. Each day we did a different plant.
Yeah.
But time for maybe as soon as next week. Like, whoa.
Thanks for the heads up, bud.
Yeah. And now we're talking, and so we ended up we served everybody off the line.
Oh.
So now, and I was like, oh, yeah, we can do 2 lines, because I figure this is like May, June, where I can plan to have people.
We're really going to throw those 2 new people to the wolves, aren't we?
Yay. Yeah. But, 370 total people. I think their head plate per head was 28 for Christmas holidays.
Nice.
So yeah, I'll take that. Considering we're starting a week later than last year, so that'll put us $12,000 behind last year's starting. And that'll help.
And 14,000 in the hole from the smoker.
Yeah. Still have not heard yet. Should be getting that phone call any day, hopefully.
Josh, great news. Friday, you can come pick it up.
Yeah. I know. Sorry, Cheeseless Crust switched from TikTok over to YouTube.
Oh, hey, Cheeseless.
Gotta catch up on this real quick. Okay. Cheeseless Cedars does cornflakes and Captain Crunch. I think Captain Crunch would probably be pretty good.
It sounds good.
Yeah, a little bit sweeter.
Yeah. 50-50.
If they have kitchen experience, they should know that all kitchens operate differently and will be willing to do things your way and not change things.
Yeah, going back to what I was saying about, like, I just don't know what to have them do, because if I'm not there, or if not there, if I'm like, I'll be on the computer. That's typically when I post for the day, stuff like that's going on. So that's kind of where I was, what I was thinking, like, okay, I need to really write down a list of everything I do in the morning that I would want somebody else to do. And then kind of, but it can be. Yeah.
So all your big meats, they're already done.
Correct.
When you show up in the morning.
Yes.
Because you're cooking whatever and holding overnight. So for us, it's different. So yeah, our stuff's done 3:30, 4 o'clock, at least brisket and pork butts.
Yeah.
Our ribs go on at 4:30.
Yeah. Yeah, because you're out the door by 10 at the absolute latest.
That would be late.
Absolutely. Yeah.
9. Yeah, 9 most days.
You really give yourself an hour at most places to set up?
That way we don't have to rush.
Okay.
Because typically we aren't cutting brisket until we get on site. We don't cut ribs. Ribs aren't done until about 10 o'clock. Yeah. So that's another part of why we show up when we do, is because it kind of coordinates to when things are coming. The next batch is coming off the smoker. So it makes it easy. We don't want to be driving when ribs their time slot is done.
Yeah.
So, it is all a very well orchestrated ballet every day.
Very much so.
So we probably 5 hours is probably a lot. But Chris is usually on site by 7:30. So if I don't need to have him come in until 8:30 now, that's bonus. So they can start doing stuff that Chris normally does.
Hold on. Why is that bonus? He's paid a salary whether he's there at 7:30 or 8:30.
I understand, but he's also working from 7:30 in the morning until 7:30 at night.
So it's a bonus for him.
Yes.
Okay. I'm just trying to.
And a happier Chris makes a happier everybody.
I understand.
So the less I have to push these other people, to a breaking point, the better.
I understand. Absolutely.
It's about taking care of everybody, not just me.
I completely get it. I was just trying to clarify your thing.
So yes, it is a bonus to me because that makes for a happier Chris.
Yes. Okay. A happy Chris is a happy life.
Yes. And really, and there's a lot of times when he's out of things to do by the time we leave. Because we stop. So normally, before last year, we would pull, if we did 4 butts, we'd pull them all in the morning when he got there at 7:30 or 8 o'clock. He'd pull all 4 butts. Mm-hmm. We stopped doing that. So now we pull like 2 for lunch. And we'll leave the other 2 not pulled and then pull them later in the day.
Yeah.
Just for a visually appealing effect. So now Chris is but Chris gets to clean. So now we get to mop the floors before we leave every morning, type of thing. So there's stuff to do. And that takes some of the onus off of how much stuff we have to do the night before too.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of times if we know we're going to need coleslaw the next day, Chris will make that the night before while we're trying to get, dishes done and meat prep for the smoker and all that stuff. So we try to squeeze that in so there's less to do in the morning. But with this morning prep person, they can handle all that. They can do the onions and peppers prep. They can do the coleslaw if we need it that day.
So you will continue to utilize your current smoker in the way that you have been doing it for the last 5 years you've been open. As far as you're going to load, halfway through your day.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Currently, yeah. I mean, nothing's changing until something changes.
And the new smoker will be mounted?
Nothing's changing until we know other things for sure are happening.
Understand. Okay. And that's fine.
So,
I'm just, I don't know if you've talked to anybody about like how that smoker travels with food in it kind of thing.
I have.
Okay. That's
and it should not, since we're not doing the rotisserie, it should not be a problem.
Good.
Should not be a problem.
Right.
Yeah. But as of this moment, with the other things we are working on, this building space, there's no sense for me to mount that to the trailer than just to take it off a couple months later and put it into a space.
Sure. Yeah.
So nothing on the trailer will change. We may change the device we're cooking in, which then changes everything else. But the meat prep will go from Chris on the trailer while we're open to me while I'm doing office things during the day. So we'll just kind of shift that around a little bit.
For these people that you're hoping to hire, have you, next week we'll go into training, but do you have lists already made of what like these people need to do during their time frames that they can check?
I'm working on it.
And
yep.
Stuff like that.
Those are being worked on currently, not only for the early morning prep people, but for everybody else throughout the day.
Sure.
Also working on the cell phone policy, so that we don't have that become.
You're basically going to have an employee handbook here shortly.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
Good.
And cell phone issues is, I'm okay with it. It's those two that butt heads over the cell phones. So we're going to nip it in the bud. It's going to be the same for everybody. And nobody's going to like me. I don't care. So, Caleb's girlfriend / fiance, maybe by this time, who knows? They live together. She is diabetic with a couple other severe allergies. He is her emergency contact. So, and he has his Apple Watch. Perfect.
Mm-hmm.
That should be the time that you are on your phone. Or when you're on your break. And we're going to set break times for people. Caleb is not one just to go out to his car and hang out for a little while.
I can't wait to see how you're going to build a break room.
They have vehicles. But yeah, I mean, Chris goes out to
you.
Chris goes out to smoke. Caleb, which is convenient for smokers because they have that built-in. I need to go do this type of thing, yes. Or not need to, but would like to go do this thing. So Caleb will just do it inside the trailer, and he'll sit back there while he's running dishwater and hang out on his phone, which I'm fine with, as long as everything's getting done, Mm-hmm. But it bugs Chris because Chris can see the action happening, yeah. Where Caleb's just being lazy and back there on his phone. I said, you spent a half an hour out in your car smoking.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll get that all into the kind of the policies and expectations of everybody. That way everybody's on the same page. Yeah. So mm-hmm. Yeah, we'll get that through and done. A lot of work to get done in that time. But yeah, excited about having hopefully some new blood coming aboard. And got a whole bunch of equipment coming for the trailer. We will be... So the problem with TikTok Live. So the app on your phone, you can't do outside cameras. At least I have not been able to figure out how to do it without a whole bunch of third-party interaction. Even then, it's still your phone. So in order for me to go TikTok Live on the trailer while I'm not there, I would have to log in as me on somebody else's phone, which I am not comfortable with, to do that. And even then that's their phone or a phone device that's very stagnant, very one-dimensional. Versus the TikTok Live Studio, which is used for... Okay, we're going to have to wrap this up quickly. Just got an email from downtown Grand Rapids. Their Thursday events, they just punched out that it's available for applications, so I'm going to have to get on top of that quickly. But anyways, so the desktop version, the Live Studio, which they have set up for gaming and stuff like that, which is what we use for the podcast, allows you to have multiple cameras. And I don't have to have a singular device, a mobile device there. So we're getting a mini PC and a monitor. So we'll plug in the 2 cameras, which is where my other 2 cameras are currently. They're out on the trailer to be mounted. And all I'll have to do is just hit go live on the screen with a mouse. And we will be live pretty much anytime anybody's in the trailer. We should be TikTok Live. So
Cool.
hopefully regularly. But yeah. And then trying to figure out how to get all that stuff into the trailer without it being in the way or taking up space. Space that we currently use. So yeah, we got a busy couple weeks before we are open, but that's that. Skippy, do you have anything? We're 10 minutes over.
We gave the people what the people wanted. So
I don't know that is the case, but
well, you know what we got. So let's roll.
Thank you, everybody that tuned in today. Appreciate it. It was nice to have all your feedback. Great feedback today, everybody. As far as I know, we will be back next week, 9 o'clock, Monday. So same great time, same great stations. Peace out, everybody. Have a great day.
2 thumbs up.